Hello friends, welcome to Naandhi, the first step towards success. First of all, I would like to thank you each and every person who liked our first video and gave a positive motive for us to move forward. So let's go directly into the topic. Today, I'm going to discuss about the topic cyclones. What are we going to learn in this video? So why the cyclones are in news? This provoked me to make this video, and how this topic relevant for UPSC preparation and other competitive exams, the definition of the cyclone and different classifications of the cyclone, and what are the favorable conditions to form a cyclone. And you guys know that the cyclones are named, so how the cyclones are named and who names it, and what was the purpose of naming the cyclones, and in the world what was a cyclonic names called as, and what was the effect or the cyclone affected areas in India. And in most of the videos we will be discussing about the impact created by the cyclone, but here the unique thing in my video is I'm going to discuss about the advantages of the cyclone and also measures to tackle cyclone. And I just want to give you some questions also to make you understand much more. In the recent past, we found that many cyclones are creating news, and they are just creating havoc and huge cry in the Indian society. So recently we found the cyclone that was originated in Arabian Sea and which was named by Myanmar as Tauktae, which affected your western coastal region. And again, the Yas, which was originated in Bay of Bengal and named by the Oman country, affected your eastern part of your coastal regions. So we're going to discuss about this too, and how the topic is relevant, friends. That is, in under mains like UPSC mains, it comes under your GS1 topic, that is important geophysical phenomenon. Apart from your cyclones, you also have earthquakes, volcanoes also under this topic itself. And even in GS3 under disaster management, how to tackle the cyclones and how to make the relief and rescue measures, it comes under your disaster management topic. And for prelims and other competitive exams too, like basic information which runs around the cyclones are important. Please students, try to answer this question. Cyclone Yaas recently seen in news, named by which of the following countries? If you have listened my video properly, then directly you can answer this. The answer is Oman. So Tauktae was named by whom? It was Myanmar. Yas was named by whom? It was Oman. So what is the word Yas means? It was originated from the Persian language. It means jasmine. So any country can give any name. It depends on the wish of the country which offers the names. So coming to the definition of the cyclone, friends, it is a rapid inward air circulation. Like from all the directions, the air is moving inward. Yes, and where it is moving under around a low pressure area. If think this is a low pressure area, then the wind starts moving into this low pressure area. And what happens in low pressure area? The warm air rises. Yes, so the air which is coming from all directions here at low pressure area, it creates a coil which looks like a snake coil and which moves upwards. So this is the way how your cyclone looks like. That is why it was named as a cyclone by Henry Peddington. Yes, how it is looking like? It was looking just like a coils of a snake. Yes, so what happens in the low pressure area? The warm air get rises. So this is a simple definition of the cyclone. Coming to the wind, why we have to know about the wind? Because of the wind and the deflection which was created due to the Coriolis force, only cyclones are formed. So what is wind, friends? In the warm air, the molecules of the air, they just expand, and because they have less weight, they start rising. And in the cold air, the molecules of the air become very close to each other and they exert certain weight. Because of this, they move towards downwards. So they created high pressure area and low pressure area here, warm air and cold air. What happens? The earth have an automatic balanced system, that it have to maintain a constant atmospheric or pressure. So here it is high pressure and here it is low pressure. So in order to balance the pressure on the earth, the high pressure wind will move towards the low pressure and create a balance. So this movement creates your wind. The movement of air from high pressure to low pressure is wind. So what is the Coriolis force? Think this is an earth. I'm not good at drawing, please do not mind. This is northern hemisphere and this is a southern hemisphere. As I already told you that the wind moves from high pressure to low pressure area, and because of Coriolis force, what is meant by Coriolis force? Because of the rotation of the earth, there exists a force on earth that is called Coriolis force. When earth starts rotating, this wind deflects towards the right side in northern hemisphere. If this is the direction of the wind in southern hemisphere, this is deflected towards left. So in the northern hemisphere they turn towards the right, and in southern hemisphere they turn towards the left. I already told you that the wind moves from low pressure area to high pressure area. At equator, because of the sun rays falls directly on the equator, here the air gets much more warmer when compared to other regions air. So here it created a low pressure area because the air which is warmed at the equator moves upwards and move towards this direction, because and here again at certain places it got condenses, it becomes cool, and the cool air, it gradually moves towards the downward. So in this way this creates a direction. So this is a low pressure area, this is a high pressure area. I already told you that the movement will be from high pressure area to low pressure area. Yes. So when this direction is in this way, yes, what happens in the northern hemisphere? The wind deflects towards your right. So this happened. And in southern hemisphere, you can see that this is a normal direction of the wind. The wind deflects towards your left. That is anti-clockwise direction in your northern hemisphere and clockwise direction in your southern hemisphere. This you have to remember, friends, for the cyclone. So what happens? See here, the high pressure area and low pressure area, all the high pressure areas, from that the wind is coming into a low pressure area. See, because of the deflection, it created a coil here in this way. Yes, and it is a low pressure area. What happens in the low pressure area? The air rises up. So continuously these coils move upwards. So in this way the cyclone looks like a coils of a snake. The formation and also strengthening of a cyclone is called as cyclogenesis. So based on the region where these cyclones are occurred, the cyclones are divided into two. One is tropical cyclones and extratropical cyclones. If the cyclone occurred in between your Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, then it is called as tropical cyclones. And if it occurred apart from this region, that is between your 35 degrees and 65 degrees latitude, then it is called as extratropical cyclones. Your tropical cyclones I did not write here, that is from 10 degrees to 30 degrees latitude. You'll understand the differences when you read about the differences between your tropical cyclones and extratropical cyclones. And extratropical cyclones have different names. They are also called as temperate cyclones, middle latitude cyclones, or frontal cyclones, or wave cyclones. So these are the types of the cyclones based on the region where they occur. When can it be called as a cyclone? If the wind reach a speed of 63 miles per hour, then it is called as a tropical storm. And if the wind reaches a speed of more than 119 kilometers per hour, then it is called as tropical cyclone or hurricane. So you will understand what is meant by hurricane in the further videos. In order to occur any phenomenon, definitely there have to be certain favorable conditions. So what are the criteria which lead to formation of a cyclone is very important for any competitive exams. So first and foremost thing is, to create a low pressure area, we need warming of a air. Yes. So the temperature should be higher than 27 degrees Celsius, where it have to be on the large sea surface. If think this is a large sea surface, and overall all these large sea surface, the temperature should be greater than your 27 degrees Celsius. Yes, and the presence of Coriolis force, without this, how the winds will be deflected? Yes, and there should be only small variations in the vertical wind speed. Vertical wind speed means the wind speed here. Think that the wind speed here is 10 and next it is here 100 and next again here it is 200. What happens if the wind speed is in this way? Then the cyclones may not be formed properly. This vertical wind speed should have minimum variations. If it is 10 here, it should be somewhere around 11, 14 or 17 kilometers per hour. So the wind variation should be very small. If the variations of the wind are high, then the cyclone may not be formed. And pre-existing weak low pressure area or low level cyclonic circulation is much more mandatory. Yes, an upper divergence above the sea level system. See here, I gave you the examples of convergence and divergence. Low pressure area here, the air just rises, and here also the air rises and it moves in this direction, it moves in this direction. So this divergence movement of the winds on or around your cyclone creates clouds here, and this leads to very huge or torrential rain. If the winds are like this, if the winds are moving inwards, then you can't claim it as a cyclone. It can't create any clouds. Yes or no? So these are the reasons which favor to cyclone to be formed on the ocean. So let's figure out whatever we have discussed about the cyclone in this structure. See here, this is a low pressure area and the wind from all directions over the sea. This is a large ocean, yes, and where the temperature is more than 27 degrees Celsius. This is the first condition. So because of that, here somewhere low pressure area created and all the high pressure air is moving towards your low pressure area. At the low pressure area, because of Coriolis force, what happens? The wind deflects in anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere. Yes, so the wind started deflecting in the anti-clockwise direction, and because of low pressure area and warm air, it starts moving upwards. After reaching a certain distance, the air just diverges. Yes, so you can see here, this is called as EYEI, and where you can't see the formation of the clouds, and up to here this is called as a walls of the eye. So here the divergence of the wind moves away and carries the moisture from the oceans and create the cumulonimbus clouds here, the clouds which are rain bearing, which led to torrential rain. So this is obviously a structure of a cyclone where you can understand in detail. Up to now we have discussed about the tropical cyclones and how they form and what is the structure. So how the extratropical cyclones are formed there. So let's know this phenomenon through polar front theory and what is meant by front and everything. So from the poles what comes? The cold air start moving towards your poles, towards your equator, and from equator the warm air starts moving towards the poles. Yes, this is a warm air and this is a cold air. See here, warm humid air masses from the tropics meets the dry cold air masses from the poles, and where the cold air and warm air meets, that region is called as front. Yes, so the cold, you already know that the, let me figure like this so that you can understand here. This is a cold air and this is a warm air. So I already told you that the cold air is little denser and heavier than your warm air. What happens if these two collide with each other? This warm air will rise and this cold air will move towards downwards. Yes or no? The interaction of the cold and warm air masses creates instability, and a low pressure area is created at the junction of these two winds. Yes, and because of the creation of this void, a low pressure area is created. And what happens in the low pressure area? the air starts moving upwards and all the high pressure area starts coming towards your low pressure area. In this, and also because of the earth's rotation, that is the Coriolis force, again the process of deflection begins, and here the cyclone is formed, extratropical cyclone. So in tropical cyclones, cyclones are mostly due to because of thermal origin. Thermal origin means, what is meant by thermal origin? Temperature. Yes, and here it is because of the movement of wind and because of the front, yes or no, front wave, and because of the temperate region. So your extratropical cyclones have different names. Let's discuss now the differences between your tropical cyclone and temperate cyclones. I already explained you most of the facts while I'm explaining the definitions, and these are many facts you have to remember. Please do take screenshot or go through any other source. Origin. The thermal origin will lead to the tropical cyclone because of the temperature. Yes, but in temperate cyclone, it was a dynamic origin, that the interaction between your warm and cold air masses leads to your temperate cyclone. And coming to the latitude, it is 10 to 30 degrees north and southern hemisphere, and it is 35 to 65 degrees north and southern hemisphere. Please do remember that at the equator, there are no cyclones because of the absence of your Coriolis force. And do, in the case of the frontal system, only the temperate cyclones will form, but the frontal system, the interaction of the warm and cold air masses is called as a frontal system. Yes, the jointing point of warm and cold air. There was no any frontal system in your tropical cyclone. Yes, it is absent. And formation, they form only on seas. This is very important, and they dissipate on reaching the land, because the intensity of the cyclone just stops when it reaches the land. And the temperate cyclones can be formed both on the land and the sea. It's very important. And season is, most of the your tropical cyclones occur in summer because of huge temperature. Yes or no? Its origin is because of the temperature itself. So that is why it is occurred mostly on summers. And in the temperate cyclones are irregular. They are not a regular phenomenon like your tropical cyclones, and they are few in summers and more in winter. So they occur both in winters and summers, but they are more in winters. And coming to the wind velocity and the destruction, the tropical cyclones wind velocity is very high, and they create huge distraction. That is why the rescue and relief measures are important in your tropical cyclone areas. And wind velocity in temperate cyclones is comparatively low. That is, when you compare the wind velocity of temperate cyclone with tropical cyclone, it is low. And the less destruction is occurred, but more destruction is occurred due to flooding in your temperate cyclones. And how the cyclone, tropical cyclone look like? It looks like elliptical shape. Yes, elliptical shape. But when comes to your extratropical cyclone, you just go back to the video and you can see that it is a V-shaped cyclone. This is a cold air and this is a warm air. So in this way, the frontal system is formed, that is your temperate cyclones. Coming to the lifetime, the tropical cyclones do not last for more than a week. Hardly it lasts for 10 days. But temperate cyclones may last for more than 2 to 3 weeks. Yes, and even the path also matters. Your tropical cyclones move from east to west. That is the opposite direction of your Earth's rotation. Earth rotates from west to east. The opposite direction is east to west. Just for remembering purpose, I'm telling you, that is tropical cyclones from east to west, and temperate cyclones move from west to east. What was the influence on India? This is very important. The tropical cyclones affect both coasts of India, that is east coast and west coast. And even your coastal region, the Deccan region, is almost the bed region for most of the tropical cyclones. Temperate cyclones brings rains to the northwest India in the form of the western disturbances. So here I'm going to discuss only about the cyclone. That is why I'm not going in detail about the western disturbances and anything. So hope you understood the definition of the cyclone and the types of the cyclone and differences of the cyclone. And I do not want to make video much larger, so I just stop here, and the next content of your this video will be discussed in your next video. Let's raise a small question here. By considering the following questions, please do answer in the comment box. Answer for this question will be given in your next video. A tropical cyclone is an intense circular storm that originates over warm tropical oceans and is characterized by high atmospheric pressure, high winds and heavy rain. Tropical cyclone In tropical cyclone there will be high atmosphere, high winds and heavy rain. Is it correct? And characteristic feature means the features or the structure of the cyclone consists of eye and central region of clear skies, warm temperatures and low atmospheric pressure, and they rotate counterclockwise, that is anti-clockwise in southern hemisphere and clockwise in the northern hemisphere. I hope I discussed all these points in your video, and try to answer this in your comment section. And please do like, share and subscribe, and go through your part 2 video of cyclones to understand the advantages, measures to tackle, and also many important prelims and mains questions. Thank you.